and those whom take an accounting of themselves identify, okay, this is the reality of shaitan, and this is the reality of how that shaitan partners with the nafs to make everything that God wants to appear difficult. And the grace and divine blessings that only can be experienced with intensity is in Ramadan. Day-to-day grace and day-to-day rahmah may come and many people may not observe it or pay attention to it. But truly the grace of the Divine is felt in Ramadan. As soon as the first night and the welcoming of the holy month of Ramadan, immediately the excitement and the grace and the blessings of Allah begin to dress the soul. That step into what you perceive to be a fire, I make it a fire of divine love. That very love, because shaitan, that's how he sees it, that's his reality. He doesn't see any goodness because goodness is an opposite to him, it will burn him. He only speaks the truth of what he sees. He sees the goodness and that's an opportunity for him to be burned, and he abstains and stays away from it and tries to encourage others to stay away from it. But that very appearance of fire is the dress of divine love for those whom are intending to enter love and to enter in to their Lord's satisfaction. As soon as we head for that perceived fire, Allah shows it's an ocean of divine love. The very same fire that shaitan sees as his burning, because that love will burn shaitan for all that he did wrong and all that he disobeyed and all those whom he misguided. Means how he perceives it and how we should understand its haqqaiq and reality. Everything that's a burning opportunity for shaitan is an opportunity of immense blessings. And that when we understand the waswas, understand the whispering, oh here it goes again, okay yeah this is why this is coming, then these are the people whom they contemplate and reflect. The power of contemplation is to be self-aware, that I understand these thoughts and whispers that are coming and those are his fears. There must be an immense light that I'm approaching, an immense opportunity that I must be approaching. And as a result, as soon as we enter into Ramadan, divine grace and blessings dressing us. And what we described before for people who maybe are new is the Muhammadan dress. Every Prophet of the Divine carries a cloak of mercy like a father for his children, for his flock. It's his desire that his nation enter into the satisfaction of his Lord. And God gives them, the Prophets of the Divine, a cloak of grace, a dress, a khirka, a jubba of immense lights and blessings. And as soon as they intend to enter in, those blessings dress the soul that come. Don't listen to the waswas of shaitan, we will make it to be cool and peaceful for you. And as a result they enter in and they truly feel the grace of the Divine. That the hunger subsides, the thirst subsides, the fear subsides and goes down, and the servant is floating in an ocean of mercy and rahmah. And if they listen to the teachings of guidance through the tariqahs, do the awrad, do the zikr, do the practices, these are and this is the month of immense power. Subhana man taqara bil qudrati wal baqa. This is a month of immense power. Such a power that Surah At-takwir, the 81st surah, all of the beginning of it is a description of annihilation and judgment day. When we roll up the sun, when we shoot down and collapse all the stars, every description of the difficulty and azab of judgment day in which Allah crushing everything. Those verses are the verses of the reset. Mawlana Shaykh often described that whatever God is describing in Holy Qur'an of difficulties, when those whom believe read, Allah setting them through the reality of that. The power of Ramadan and the power of Al-Muntaqim, the 81st name of the Divine, Al-Muntaqim, the one whom avenges his servant. And who he avenges his servant from is the devil. Evilness and wickedness that has continuously approached his servants, tried to entice his servants, tried to derail his servants, tried to misguide his servants. So Allah's name, the 81st name that dresses this reality of 81 in Ramadan, 9 times 9, is Al-Muntaqim, the one whom avenges. It's His might and majesty that I will avenge my servant, and everything that shaitan has done wrong I'm going to crush it. And the beginning verses of surah At-takwir, as if Allah taking us through Judgment Day. As you're reading, Allah addressing you, that you enter in and that becomes the rahmah, that I crush everything as if you're going through your Judgment Day, so that it's a reset. This is the immense cleansing of the holy month of Ramadan, and the servant doesn't even know that they're going through that. And this is the grace of Allah, that everything that He has put into your chest I'm going to crush, every dirtiness He's put upon you I'm going to crush. As if by the end you've come out of your Judgment Day judged, pure and clean. And only by the grace of Allah, because this is the reality of Ramadan's fasting, in which no eye can perceive and no ear can understand and no intermediary is necessary for the fasting of the servant. That Allah will cleanse of every difficulty, every verse they're reciting is dressing upon their soul, and every badness to be taken, to be crushed, to be annihilated into nothingness. And this is the reality of rahmah, that when rahmah and grace comes near the servant that has been defiled and darkened by evilness of this earth, knowing and unknowing of how much the shayateen and evilness put upon people, 35 years of teaching about shaitan, and most of it people laughed at. What you talking about? Baba, you say shaitan is everywhere, shaitan. And I said 35 years, they eat people. I said, what? They eat people. They gather and they eat people. They torment and they torture people, and they find pleasure in the flesh and bones of mankind. And only now this earth is hearing about that. This earth hearing about that and shocked, because they really never knew about shaitan. Because the greatest deception he put upon people is for them to believe he doesn't even exist. And those whom believe, mandatory to understand his existence, he's the one they're fighting. If you don't believe in shaitan and Satan, then who is it that you're fighting? Believers and other believers? No. But the battle on this earth is with the Satan within, and that becomes now grossly apparent. Then we understand now the power of Ramadan. They were sitting in daily reading, what they do, what did they do, how do they exist like that? And Mawlana Shaykh would say 99% of humanity is no longer human. They have given themselves spiritually to demonic energies, because they exist, the jinn and marada, with no form, and they immediately enter in and occupy. They are the nemesis of the Hadith al-Qudsi. Hadith al-Qudsi, Allah describes, the Divine describes that if you do your mandatory disciplines, you approach with love, I become your hearing, I become your seeing, I become the hands in which you touch, the feet in which you move, the breath in which you breathe. So much so you become lordly, Rabbaniyun, and you have power of kun fayakun, you become lordly, godly souls upon this earth. Exact nemesis to that is what shaitan is doing. So when people say, how is it possible? Because the good side is telling you it is possible. that if you want to become lordly, give yourself to your Lord by applying all the disciplines He's asked of you, so that He can grant you divine grace within your seeing, so that you can see through your God-given soul. Divine grace into your hearing, so that you can hear with your Divinely soul. Divinely grace upon your tongue for your Divinely soul. All of these blessings is a hadith al-Qudsi. You have to believe it's true, and now you see the dark side. Because the truth is difficult for people, but the evilness is much more apparent. They're the exact opposite. They have done every form of evilness so that Satan would be their eyes. Every form of evilness so Satan would be their hearing, their speaking, their touch and their feeling. So much so that they would be demonic and that he would possess them. And this is the atrocities that people are hearing from.